So the top patent award of all time was actually awarded to a surgeon who had filed multiple patents in the spinal surgery area, Dr. Michelson. 1.35 billion. How did it start? Did he start the patent litigation? No. He was sued. Medtronic sued him for breaching a confidentiality agreement. And he said, so, you want to take me on? Fine, you'll take me on. We'll go to a jury. And he won at the jury level, hundreds of millions. And he said, that's not enough. I'm going to appeal. And he appealed, and they settled out at 1.35 billion. So not all patent jungles and stories end up this way. It's definitely a game where you want to have some big players on your side. Dr. Michelson had the fortitude to take this on himself, but it's a complex area, and generally you want to have either sold or partnered with someone who's a big player by the time you get to this. I wanted to give you a note that there are a flood of patents right now, both in the medical and non-medical robotic field. Yolande Dufresne, a lawyer who works with me, did some searching just to see what's happening. And there are patents that are being filed on robots. One example is the Da Vinci surgical robot. It costs $1 million per robot. The patents have been filed in the various field of indications where the robots can be used. In the non-medical field, we're getting almost 20,000 hits for robots, 10,000 issued and almost 8,000 pending in the US Patent Office. In the medical field, we're getting a little over 2,000 patents issued and 429 pending, suggesting to me that it's light in the medical field. So this to me is a low result, perhaps suggesting that there's room for improvement in terms of where these patents are going. There's many press releases on companies that are patenting in the robotic area. This particular company, iRobot, sends out a press release every time it files or it gets an issued patent. Recently was awarded the 100th US patent. So when do you file a patent? If you have an idea for a robot today, do you go home and draft a patent application and file it today? Do you wait until some friends and family give you $10,000? Is that money well spent? Or do you wait until you have a business plan where you can go to some investors to say, give me seed financing, 20 to 30,000, and part of that I'll use to file my patent application? Well, as we heard from the speakers this morning, you want to be strategic about your approach. Consider the business issues. Consider the market. How are you going to pay for this? What's your plan? The first step is to prepare and file patent application. Usually it's in the United States, where even Canadians file first. Most other countries file first in their home country, but over 95% of all innovation in Canada results in a US patent application being filed first. Why? Because that's where the market is. And Canadians, for the most part, have the end in sight. They're trying to sell or license the invention to an American company, which is our track record. We tend to partner and out-license to American companies. There are different types of patents, and I won't go into detail here, other than to know that you need to patent country by country, and you have a year's time within which to decide where to go. So if you file first in Canada, you have a year. If you file first in the United States, you have a year. You just have to pick one country and file there first, and then form your strategy. Moving the application forward to an issued patent can take many years and cost lots of money. Later, I have a slide about the cost. The typical cost of preparing and filing a patent application can be $15,000 to $20,000, even more for a complex invention. Moving that application forward to an issued patent in one country can amount to $30,000 or $40,000. So it's not for the weak of heart. You need to know strategically where you're going, and you have to answer to your investors. If they're putting up money for your patent program, you have to be able to say to them, this patent is going to result in my success. And if not, you need to make hard decisions to abandon or to rejig your strategy. A variety of requirements to get a patent. The invention has to be new. So if you've gone to another robotic conference and saw a robot there, let's say it's in another country of Europe, and you come back here, you can't patent that yourself. You are not the inventor of that robot. It has to be new. So no one has ever invented this before. It has to be a breakthrough. Can't be a minor variation. It has to be a leap forward. There has to be some ingenuity. Can't be a mere theory. Has to have commercial utility. Subject matter, as I said before, certain areas are not patentable. So humans, not patentable. Mice in Canada, not patentable. So once you get your patent, what do? Well, you pay your fee and then you wait. But the difficulty is that 99% of all patents are never commercialized into products. So it comes back to what we heard this morning. What is your plan to get this into a product and drive it forward? What is your plan to realize the value? Well, this is where the business plan comes in. Where do we go? If we are considering a medical device, so let's say it's a surgical device that is a breakthrough. As part of your business plan, what you'd want to consider is which countries am I going to be able to sell this device into? Are my big uptake with surgeons, is that going to be Europe? Is it going to be India? Is it going to be China? And then you want to dovetail your patent filing with the countries where you think the sales are going to be. Also, consider your exit strategy. Is this something that you're going to be doing forward to commercialization? Or do you want to do a deal with another medical device company who's going to take this to market? If you have in mind who that device company is, make sure you're filing your patent in the countries in which they have operations and sales. So those are a few of the issues that you'd want to consider. We talked about costs, and there's a slide there for you. One thing to remember is that patent costs are exponential. It quickly gets out of control. It's like a house renovation that's out of control. So you want to be making hard decisions to abandon patents or to cull your patent portfolio if you're not getting products in development that dovetail with what you're doing.